I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council to order for September 18th, 2014 at 8 p.m. On roll call, council members: Coletti.
Here.
Dombrowski.
Here.
Martino.
Here.
Pedagano.
Here.
Bonsino.
Here.
Catamagna.
Here.
Mayor Mola.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Will everyone please rise for our prayer and flag salute? Oh God, our Father, we ask you to bless our meeting, which we trust to your fatherly care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our hearts and plant them in a keen sense of justice and a greater love for you and our neighbor. Guide us in our deliberations so our decisions will always please you and bring peace and happiness to our community. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Whereas Chapter 231 of Public Laws of the State of New Jersey requires the commencement of every meeting, a statement by the presiding officer, now therefore be advised, the meeting requirements of this meeting have been met by posting an annual notice in the Record of Hackensack and the Herald News of Woodland Park, and by posting such notice in the office of the Borough Clerk, as well as in a public place within the municipal building, and by notifying interested citizens. Said notice was posted on January 1, 2014. Ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is being videotaped, and it'll be on Cablevision, Channel 77. It'll be on Tuesday at noon, Thursday at 4 p.m., and Friday at 10. Tuesday noon, Thursday 4, and Friday at 10 a.m. It's also on our website, www.elmwoodparknj.us. So you can see it on our website also. Thank you.
Mayor, at this time we have the approval of minutes from the June 26th, 2014 work session, the June 26th, 2014 executive session, the June 7th, 2014 work session, the August 21st, 2014 regular meeting, and the September 11th, 2014 work session.
Gentlemen, if you missed any of those, we're going to take a vote on all of them together. Just indicate which one you should be abstaining from. Okay?
Mayor will need a motion.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Piragano, second.
Second.
Mr. Dombrowski, discussion? Call the roll.
On roll call, council members Coletti.
Yes.
Dombrowski.
Yes.
Martino.
Yes.
Pedagano.
Yes.
Bonsino.
Yes.
Catamagna.
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, this evening we have two promotions to make within the Elmwood Park Police Department, and at this time I would ask Lieutenant D'Amore to open up the doors in the back, and I would like to call in.
Wait a minute. Are we doing the
Yeah, we're gonna bring the officers in first.
first, and then we're going to do this? Okay.
And at this time I'd like to call in, escorted by the Honor Guard, soon-to-be Sergeant John Harris, and soon-to-be Sergeant Charles Pensari. Everyone please rise. Please be seated. And I'll turn the agenda over to Chief Michael Foligno for a presentation of a service award to be followed by the installation of our two new sergeants.
Good evening. This is a special night for our department. Two of our fine officers are being promoted to the rank of sergeant, and the promotion is well deserved for both. I would like to thank the Mayor and Council for their continued support of the police department. None of this is possible without the relationship that we have developed, and I'm very positive about it, and thank you very much for all your continued support. In addition to the promotions, one of our officers will be receiving the Meritorious Service Award. The Meritorious Service Award is defined as follows: a highly unusual accomplishment under adverse conditions with some degree of hazard to life and limb to the officer, or where death or injury to a third party is prevented. On September 4th at 2:06 a.m. while on patrol, Officer Michael Golden observed an employee of 7-Eleven standing near the outside door of the business. Officer Golden, while on routine patrol, made eye contact with that employee. The employee had two individuals standing next to him. As Officer Golden drove by, he sensed something wasn't right. He turned his patrol car around and approached the individuals. He subsequently discovered that the two men had just committed an armed robbery at the store and attempted to slash and stab the employee with a box cutter. As they pursued the victim prior to the officer's arrival, he utilized a garbage can to fend off the attackers, and eventually the altercation spilled outside to the front door where the officer had spotted them. When Officer Golden pulled up, the suspects were attempting to push the victim back into the store. We can only imagine what may have happened had Officer Golden not been so alert and proactive with his patrol duties on that morning. I'm sure his perceptive instincts, combined with solid police work, prevented a potential tragedy. Equally as impressive was the tremendous amount of restraint exhibited by Officer Golden in a situation that could have ended up justifiably in a deadly police incident. His calm, composed demeanor and professionalism diffused the situation without him needing to use much force at all. Mike, I applaud you and am proud to serve with you, and proud of how well you represent the Elmwood Park Police Department. Please come forward and accept your award.
Mayor will begin the appointment resolutions with Resolution R 311-14, promotion to Police Sergeant John Harris. Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that the following named be and is hereby appointed as Police Sergeant in the Police Department of the Borough of Elmwood Park effective September 19th, 2014, as follows: John Harris of Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Be it further resolved that said appointment is in accordance with the New Jersey Civil Service Commission rules and regulations, and be it further resolved that the salary increase from police patrolman to police sergeant shall be deferred until the September 19th, 2015, as per an agreement between the officials of the Elmwood Park PBA Local 185 and the Borough of Elmwood Park.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Mr.
Second.
Boncino, second.
Second.
Mr. Catamagna, any discussion? Call the roll, please.
On roll call, Councilmembers Coletti?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Pettigano?
Yes.
Boncino?
Yes.
Catamagna?
Yes.
Motion carries. At this time, I'd ask
Let's do the next one, too.
Resolution 312-14, promotion of Police Sergeant Charlie Pensari. Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that the following named be and is hereby appointed as Police Sergeant in the Police Department of the Borough of Elmwood Park effective September 19th, 2014, as follows: Charles Pensari of Ridgefield, New Jersey. Be it further resolved that said appointment is in accordance with the New Jersey Civil Service Commission rules and regulation guidelines, and be it further resolved that the salary increase from the patrolman position to the police sergeant position shall be deferred until September 19th, 2015, as per an agreement between officials of the Borough of Elmwood Park PBA Local 185 and the Borough of Elmwood Park. Mayor will need a motion.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Boncino, Mr. Coletti, any discussion? Call the roll, please.
On roll call, Councilmembers Coletti?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Pettigano?
Yes.
Boncino?
Yes.
Catamagna?
Yes.
I'd ask that Sergeant Harris and his family come up to be installed by Mayor Moll.
I, John Harris, do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people,
And I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
the duties of police sergeant
the duties of police sergeant
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God. And you're almost bigger than me doing it.
That's a good shot. John, I just need your signature.
Very good job. How you doing, Mama?
John, congratulations. At this time, I would ask Sergeant Charles Pensari to come forward along with his family to be installed by Mayor Muller.
Repeat after me, please. I, Charles Pensari,
I, Charles Pensari,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United
and the
States
Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people,
And I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
the duties of police sergeant
the duties of police sergeant
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Chief, you have any comments about where you go? Yeah. They
The
go
officers?
about where they're going. Anybody going downstairs?
Oh, yeah. I'd like to join us for coffee and cake for the officers for their promotion and Officer Golding's award. Be downstairs in the all-purpose room now. Thank you.
Yeah, they can. Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to proceed with the remainder of the council meeting, so if we can just pay attention, we'd appreciate it.
Mayor, at this time, under ordinances, we have Resolution 313-14, introduce ordinance 14-21 on first reading. Be resolved that an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance to Amend the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park entitled Licensing and Business Regulations," be passed and adopted on first reading. And be resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, October 2nd, 2014, at 8 p.m. or soon thereafter, as same can be heard, at which time and place all persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and he is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Mr. Dombrowski, second by Mr. Pettigano. Any discussion? This ordinance, ladies and gentlemen, is to kind of reduce the amount of work that's being done in the community on Sundays or on holidays, New Year's Day, Memorial Day, Independence, Labor, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. And it allows you to, a homeowner only, may perform work on their homes on Sunday during the hours of 12 noon and 6 p.m., provided that no work violates any borough ordinance. I think this is a good compromise so that we don't have people building in residential zones. The only question I have is maybe we could look at it again and have it for no more than 4 or 5 consecutive Sundays, because we're liable to get somebody who's building a house by himself, and it's liable to go on all year, excuse me.
Only on Sundays?
Only on Sunday. Okay? Call a roll, please.
On roll call, council members Coletti?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Pettigano?
Yes.
Lancino?
Yes.
Catalano?
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 314-14, introduce ordinance 14-22 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled a bond ordinance to authorize the acquisition of an easement in Block 1408, Lot 1, 368 Market Street, 541 Boulevard, in, by, and for the Borough of Elmwood Park in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $22,500 to pay for the cost thereof and to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such an appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds, be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, October 2nd, 2014, at 8 p.m. or soon thereafter, as same can be heard, at which time and place all persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and he is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Coletti, second.
Second.
Mr. Martino, any discussion? Mr.
Yes, Mayor,
Kaczmarek, could
if
you
I
just...
may. Regarding this ordinance, our attorneys have worked tirelessly for years acquiring these parcels of land so that we can open up this at the intersection of Market Street and the Boulevard, and it's finally coming to fruition, and it'll allow us to complete other operations now in conjunction with the work that's going to go on Market Street in terms of our pump house facility, the pipe work that's going to be concluded there. So we needed to get this done in order to proceed, and it's finally done.
Thank you. Any other comments? This is along Market Street and the Boulevard, and we're making those corners wider so you don't have trouble making the turn. And it's taken this long because we've had easements we had to obtain, as Mr. Coletti has indicated, and we have some of the business owners giving us a little bit of a hard time about it, but after all these years, we finally got it resolved. Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Through you, Mayor, I also want to clarify this is a county-funded project. The municipality was only required to seek the easements, and now they've all been granted.
Thank you.
On roll call, council members Coletti?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Pettigano?
Yes.
Lancino?
Yes.
Catalano?
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 315-14, introduce ordinance 14-20 on second reading. Whereas public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled an ordinance of the Borough of Elmwood Park accepting dedication of a portion of Block 1011, Lot 4, as shown on the official tax map of the Borough of Elmwood Park for future roadway purpose at the intersection of Market Street and Boulevard. And whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, August 21st, 2014, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given the opportunity to be heard concerning same, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled an ordinance of the Borough of Elmwood Park accepting dedication of a portion of Block 1011, Lot 4, as shown in the official tax map of the Borough of Elmwood Park for future roadway purpose at the intersection of Market Street and Boulevard, pass on final reading. Mayor will need a motion to open to the public.
May I have a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
Mr. Dombrowski, second by Mr. Boncino. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? So ordered. Is there
Mayor-
anyone who wishes to be heard on this ordinance?
And
If
Mayor,
not-
this is connected to the same project we just described under the previous ordinance.
If not, I'll close the public portion of the meeting. May I have a motion on the ordinance, please?
So moved.
I'm sorry, Mr. Caravagna? Okay. Second?
Second.
Mr. Martino. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members Coletti?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Catagano?
Yes.
Bonsino?
Yes.
Catamani?
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, this evening under the consent agenda, we have R316-14 bill list, Resolution 317-14 confirmation of escrow, Resolution 318-14 confirmation of payroll, Resolution 319-14 award bid for consulting services of the Rogers Group LLC, that's for the police accreditation, Resolution 320-14, resolution to appropriate funds for the Recreation Trust Fund to fund bond ordinance 14-03, improvements to English Avenue Park, Resolution 312-14, authorize the release of escrow 243 Roosevelt Avenue, Resolution 322-14, authorize the use of the pistol range for the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Resolution 323-14, resolution to reconcile stale checks. Resolution 324-14, redeem third-party tax lien for 36 Tooele Avenue. Resolution 325-14, redeem third-party tax lien for 71 Rosemont Avenue. Resolution 326-14, redeem third-party tax lien for 200 Market Street. Resolution 327-14, resolution authorizing the football Bombers to utilize the recreation bus. Resolution 328-14, authorize purchase of a 2014 Ford Explorer from the Fire Prevention Trust Fund. Resolution 329-14, liquor license person-to-person transfer, Blue 42 Restaurant and Bar LLC. Resolution 330-14, retirement compensation for Deborah Ritchie, Health Officer. Resolution 331-14, appoint Brian T. Giblin for the matter of Bonanno versus the Borough of Elmwood Park. Resolution 332-14, appoint after-school program counselor in the Recreation Department. Resolution 313-14, authorize action to secure building located at 15 River Road. Resolution 334-14, authorize execution of the Community Development Grant for road resurfacing at various locations in the Borough of Elmwood Park. And Resolution 335-14, authorize execution of the Open Space Grant for English Avenue Park improvements.
May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Mr. Boncino, second.
Second.
Mr. Martino, any discussion?
Yes, on the resolution 331-14, I just want to say that I will vote no.
Okay, Resolution 331-14 is
No, the rest is okay.
331-14.
Yes.
That resolution is to appoint Brian Giblin to appeal a decision that was made by appellate court concerning a former borough building inspector or subcode official.
Mayor, can I make a recommendation that
Take it out.
Councilman Boncino and Councilman Martino amend their motion to exclude that, and we'll vote on it as a separate matter?
Yes, I'll amend to remove the 331-14.
Councilman Martino?
Yes.
Okay.
Call the roll.
Roll call on the consent agenda.
Right, Mayor,
Absent.
I'm sorry, I do have a question on R33014. Mr. Kazmar, can you just confirm that I know that the request came in pretty late last week for her retirement. I just want to make sure that the CFO has had ample time to quantify the numbers that are being presented tonight.
Yes, he certified
Thank you.
the package.
This is the retirement of a longtime borough employee, our health inspector, Debbie Ritchie. So he's retiring.
Roll call on the consent agenda. Council members Coletti?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Pettigano?
Yes.
Bonsino?
Yes.
Catalani?
Yes, except
Resol-
what I said before.
Resolution 331-14, appointment of Brian T. Giblin Esquire in the matter of Bonanno versus the Borough of Elmwood Park. Whereas the borough is involved in litigation entitled Bonanno versus the Borough of Elmwood Park, Appellate Division Docket Number A000742-12T3, and whereas the mayor and council wish to formally retain Brian T. Giblin Esquire to continue to represent the borough in the aforementioned litigation. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that Brian T. Giblin Esquire is hereby authorized to represent the borough in the matter of the Bonanno versus the Borough of Elmwood Park, docket number A000742-12T3. Now therefore further be resolved that Brian T. Giblin Esquire will be compensated at a rate of $125 per hour, not to exceed $5,000.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Dombrowski, second by Mr. Bonsino. Discussion? Call a roll.
On roll call, council members Coletti?
Abstain?
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Pettigano?
Yes.
Bonsino?
Yes.
Catalani?
No.
Motion carries. Mayor, under departmental reports this evening, we have the Public Works report for August, the Municipal Court report for July, and the Police Department report for August.
Motion to receive and file all three.
So moved.
Move.
Mr. Bonsino, Mr. Catamagna, any discussion? Call a roll.
On roll call, council members Coletti?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Martino?
Yes.
Pettigano?
Yes.
Bonsino?
Yes.
Catalani?
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor,
Thank
that
you.
concludes my portion of the agenda.
Thank you. Council reports, Mr. Martino?
Just the one thing, the homeowners are having their monthly meeting on the 24th of this month. It's been growing. Hopefully someone will, you go and look, they serve coffee, they have some donuts, and they also have usually a monthly trip to one of the casinos, not Atlantic City anymore, but now it's in New York City. So hopefully a lot of people will show up and you get some knowledge and get some education there. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Pettigano?
Thank you, Mayor. The Rec Department is hosting a bonfire tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock at Borough Field. It's for the soccer recreation program and the Bomber Association. After the bonfire will be movie night, and there'll be light refreshments served afterwards. I'm not 100% sure of the movie. Does anybody know?
Lion King.
Lion King, thank you. So that will be starting immediately after. The bonfire has been postponed on a couple occasions because of rain. Also, our parks, we've been in discussion over the past year as far as what to do with our parks, when to do things, and how to do things. So hopefully in the next couple weeks, we will be get a proposal for us to make plans over the next 10 years for our parks to be revamped and pinpoint issues and ideas from the community as far as what is necessary to take care of. Like I said, it's going to be a 10-year plan, 5 to 10-year plan. We cannot be guessing at what to do every year, and we need to move forward on this. We have a lot of bad fences, a lot of bad equipment out there, and we're going to take care of it very soon. And that is all I have for tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Coletti?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. At the last public meeting, I vehemently expressed my distaste twice for the praise that was being lavished on two sitting councilmen from two county representatives for acquiring the funds from the county to create a passive park at the Artesian Fields, formerly known as the Garfield Waterworks. My argument was those funds were allocated some 2 years ago and probably delayed because of the devastation Storm Sandy left, leaving the Artesian Fields at the bottom of the list in terms of priorities for the county. I went on to say that evening that the praise being dealt out by the two county officials should be spread out to all the sitting and past councils, along with Mayor Mola, who have worked tirelessly for years to procure this park. Well, my words fell on deaf ears. It took the reporter of the Record, Mr. Harris, to his credit, along with Mayor Moeller and county officials, to report the facts correctly. What is more disturbing is how this staged political theater event unfolded while the mayor, who was missing one meeting a year due to a well-deserved vacation, was not present. I'd like to say to those two county officials, most current and past council members are here because they love to be here, without a self-serving agenda and without need of a pat on the back. But if you're going to give praise, get your facts straight. Get your facts straight. Don't drive a wedge between us council members by praising a selected few. Moving on to another issue, the tank. At our last council work meeting on September 11th, Councilman Dombrowski stated that the tank, as we know it, located on the corner of Market and Boulevard, is a rare military piece that the Fort Dix Museum would love to have in their museum. He went on to say, considering that the tank is in need of repairs, maintenance, and is a haven for litter and garbage, an eyesore to the community, we should consider donating it to Fort Dix Museum. Well, I completely disagree with this idea. It's been on that corner for 5+ decades. It's a testament to our servicemen who have fought and died throughout all the wars. To the residents of Elmwood Park, it's an iconic patriotic landmark that delineates the center of our town, a staple of our community, not an eyesore. And why would you give away a rare military piece? Pursuant to the litter aspect, I suggest we instruct DPW, who weekly police the area of debris, to also weekly police the tank of debris. Regarding the maintenance of the tank, the council should allocate some yearly dollars to maintain. There is no question in my mind that this rare, iconic landmark, military piece, should stay in Elmwood Park at its current location. Regarding the fire department, I attended their annual firemen's convention. I'm sorry. They attended the firemen's convention last weekend.
Big difference.
Yeah, I wasn't there. In their absence, the town was covered by neighboring towns, along with the Elmwood Park firemen that didn't go to that convention. That convention is designed to offer classes for our firemen who seek credits to stay qualified and display the latest in fire safety and apparatus equipment. And as a side note, for those of you out there that wish to become a fire and rescueman, you can sign up any Tuesday evening, up to 9 o'clock from 7, at any one of our 4 firehouses. So that's 7 to 9, Tuesday evening, every Tuesday. And last but not least, I attended our JIF meeting on September 17th, and that's our joint insurance fund, for those of you that don't know it. It was reported that the fund was in a surplus for the last 2 years of $8.5 million. Also, Elmwood Park received a dividend of $25,000. And what this indicates is that the farm is being managed very, very well. And I want to say to those guys, keep up the good work. Mayor?
Thank you. Mr. Catania?
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you. First of all, I want to congratulate Mike Golden. The morning, I guess it was 2 in the morning, when they made the arrest, at 11 o'clock p.m., before that, I went to 7-Eleven to check my winning number. I didn't win the lottery. But I saw 5 individuals that looked like suspect. And I was kind of nervous. The way they were talking got me a little bit concerned. I went home, I was not really feeling well. I didn't know what to do. Should I go to the police? These people don't like the way they talk to each other. And look what happened. 2 o'clock in the morning, they tried to rob 7-Eleven. It was a good job. I want to congratulate Mike. Also, I saw the lady who owns a 7-Eleven, and she goes, whatever I can do for this town, I say thank you to Mike. Secondly, I have a congratulations to new sergeants, John Harris and Charles Pensari, for their promotion. They both are true gentlemen. I know these people for a long time, and also that great police officer. They deserve this promotion. Congratulations to them. Mr. Caleri, he brought something about the park. We go back many years when McNerney was the executive chairman, the county chairman. And I spoke to him many times. And he goes to me one night, do you guys want the park? We give it to you, free, maybe $1. It's yours. I discussed this with the mayor many times. I said, Mayor, it's not a good idea. And he agrees with that. He said, if we take over the park, we have to spend a lot of money to maintain the park. And my idea was, the park is not going anywhere. It stays in Elmo Park. They cannot take it away from us. Why don't we allow or let the county work on this, maintain that, instead of us? Because we don't have the kind of money to spend. We're talking about over $1 million to maintain the park. Going back a few years ago, I was campaigning with Steve Tonelli and Tracy Czar, the two freeholders today, and I said to them, guys, if you win, help us out with the park. This was over and over again. And they promised me. They won the election, then we are sending, the storm came here. If you guys remember, all the trees went down. Looked like a mess all over. And I went to the county many times. Keep in mind, I've been always the only Democrat councilman here. And sometimes I try to say something, maybe they don't understand me, or maybe they don't want to understand me. Be like my wife. Finally, I saw people go to the park from the county and remove some of the trees, right? Just a little bit. Now, we've been meeting with the freeholders many times, mostly on their fundraising. We go there to help, and they promise us to do something about the park, and they promise us they will allow money, give us money to start to work on the park. It happened. I know Larry Castelia put on the editorial that the Republican council worked very hard. No doubt about it. Mr. Castillo also was a councilman for the past 14 years. He could have said the council. We didn't have to say Republican. We worked hard. I don't remember ever here that we got $350,000 from a council. Maybe it was the year that I was not a councilman. That could be. I never heard that this money was allocated to clean or to fix the park. The facts are, the money goes in first or second. It's been done. We give out the credit, or we give out cleaning the park and making this Elmo Park a better place to live. Forget about it, Republican, Democrats. We all run to get to the end of the flag. Slow down a little bit. Let's work together. Last time I said yes. The mayor worked very hard with this. I remember him talking to us about, for many years, something should be done with the park. I don't deny that. So we all try to do something. Now the facts are in. We got the money, they work on the park. Talking doesn't do anything. Bragging doesn't do anything. The facts are, when you do the job, that's what's important. Work has been done. You say something about the tank. I got a few phone calls. I have any problem. To me, the tank was a symbol of Elmo Park, and the tank doesn't go anywhere. And I've been talked to Mr. Dombrowski, and he also agrees with that. We have to move the tank maybe a different location in the park. Because really, they're going to cut all the property. The county's taking over. And we have no choice but moving the tank. It has to go somewhere. So, I don't know, people have a good idea, maybe we should put by the monument. But the tank will stay there, like the movie. The rent don't go up, she stays. Okay? So, I guess the tank will be, I guess they want to make a political thing out of this. No. But the tank is there, it's simple. I like the way it is. Maybe it should be refurbished, it should be clean, it should be painted, make it look, the appearance better. Okay, but the tank stays. Nothing else for now. Oh, I'm sorry, I should mention something about school. Last week I took a walk with Mr. Warner, the principal of the high school. We went over, I saw the work they're doing now, the gym, they have a new floor. Most of the roof has been done. It is work going on. Okay, there's progress in school. Mayor, thank you. I have nothing else.
Thank you. Mr. Dombrowski?
Okay. I'd like to congratulate Sergeant Harris and Sergeant Panisseri for gaining their rank of sergeant today. It will allow us to have more supervision on the streets, which is good for our community, along with the regular police officers. I congratulate them for their promotions. I'd also like to congratulate Mike Golden for his excellent police work. I think the chief said it best. He used his gut instinct. You know, they don't teach that in the academy. They don't teach you what your gut's supposed to feel or what you're supposed to do with something. He used his gut instinct. He used his good police work, and I congratulate him for that, because this could have been a very messy situation in Elmwood Park. As far as, I'd like to talk about the Chamber of Commerce. This Sunday, the 21st, the Chamber 5K Kids Fun Run will take place. The registration starts at 7:30. Get there early. It's going to be a beautiful day out. We expect a lot of walk-ups. The proceeds will be donated to 2 different organizations, one being the Elmwood Park Fire Department. Remember, folks, they're always there when we call them. So please come out and support the Chamber 5K. And also the second recipient is a young man from Saddlebrook named Thomas Gennaro Buchek. He's a 21-year-old Saddlebrook resident that has a rare seizure disorder called Lennox-Gastaut syndrome, LGS. He suffers from multiple seizures daily. Thomas also has extensive brain damage, causing him to take 5 different medications daily. Additionally, he suffers from respiratory issues, and that often causes him to get pneumonia. All proceeds, like I said, will be donated to the Elmwood Park Fire Department, as well as this gentleman, Thomas Buchek. On a Board of Health issue, today the residents, the community learned that our director, Ms. Ritchie, will be retiring effective October 1st. I would like to wish her well and thank her for her services here in Elmwood Park. This week, if anybody read the early stages of the Bergen Record, you notice that we had an Athlete of the Week come from right here in Elmwood Park. I would like to congratulate Sean Violante of the Elmwood Park Memorial High School football team for being recognized as last week's Bergen Record Athlete of the Week. Sean Violante carried the football 12 times for 160 yards and scored 2 touchdowns rushing. He had 3 receptions for 115 yards and a touchdown reception. He took a kick return for 78 yards and scored another touchdown. He made 8 tackles, defended 3 passes, and intercepted a pass. I'm happy to see that Sean, after 4 touchdowns and gaining 353 yards, is this week's recipient. I hope everyone can attend this Saturday's game for the Crusaders' first home game, 1 p.m. against Waldwick. Now I'd like to, if I may take a moment to clarify something that one of my colleagues just mentioned. Councilman Coletti mentioned that the freeholders were in here on the 21st and didn't have their facts straight. And I encourage everybody here to go to the website and take a look at the August 21st meeting. If you look at 3 minutes and 30 seconds in, you will hear the freeholders say that the freeholders passed Resolution 665-14. I have Resolution 665-14 right here in my hand, and it was signed on June 4th, 2014. So the freeholder was correct. 66514, and again, you go to the website and you listen to the meeting, at 3 minutes and 30 seconds, he stated that they passed Resolution 66514. And again, as I said, it was signed 6/4/2014, and it was actually unanimously signed, including the Republicans from the Freeholders Board. The other thing is that if you take a look at the same tape and go to 3 minutes and 48 seconds, you will hear the freeholders say, thanking Councilman Catamagna and I for putting it on the radar. The quote, the thing here is the radar, okay? Nothing's being said. For 2 years we have all this money and nothing is being done. We campaigned, myself and Mr. Martino, last year. All we kept hearing from the residents was, what's going on with the park? We've had the money for 2 years, folks. Nothing was done. We put it back on the radar to get something done. At 3 minutes and 48 seconds, again, please listen to the tape. There's no lies. You want to talk about facts straight? Those are the facts. That's what's happened here. This wasn't a political ploy. Let them say what they want. But the fact of the matter is the park is finally getting done, and it should be done by the end of October, maybe the beginning of November. But they're saying at the end of October. That's what their schedule is saying. I just want to let everybody know that the facts are straight, and they're on tape, and the words are there. Please listen to them. Finally, I'd like to talk about the tank. I know many of you heard, read, or have seen on television today the issues resolving the community about our landmark known as the tank, actually a Vietnam-era M56 Scorpion. I'd like to take a moment to explain how this topic ever came about. I am the council liaison to the Elmwood Park Chamber of Commerce. On September 9th, 2014, I attended the monthly chamber meeting and was presented a letter dated September 8th, 2014, from a gentleman named Stephen G. Melly, M-E-L-L-Y, a director at the Department of the Army. The letter stated that the U.S. Army Reserve Mobilization Museum is interested in taking our M56 Scorpion and professionally restoring it to its original state when it was put into service sometime after 1953. They would honorably display it on a cement pad under a canopy with 30 other vehicles, choppers, helicopters from the United States, the Russian, German, and French militaries. As the liaison to the chamber, it is my duty to report back to the mayor and the council about this letter that was and their request. Personally, and this is only my opinion, not shared by my council members, including my own party, I saw how this M56 Scorpion was deteriorating. I also was born and raised in this town for 49 years, so the tank was here an extra year after, than me being born. I played on that tank, okay? I'm seeing that it's not being maintained, and I'm seeing it is used to collect garbage. And knowing that over the next year and a half, that we will be doing a street widening program, and we passed 2 resolutions tonight, or excuse me, we had one first reading and the second reading, 2 resolutions, that prove that we're starting this within the next, let's say, year to year and a half. The county will be widening the boulevard and Market Street, where we will lose landscape from Borough Field. We currently have the sewer station, that cement brick building that is located on the corner of the boulevard. We currently have the M56 Scorpion. We currently have our holiday tree. Well, folks, we also have a clock that has been sitting down at the DPW that was donated by the TD Bank that has been, it's about 8 years it's been sitting in the DPW with no place to go. It was, once we take the real estate back, and the reason for the comments that I made is because I don't believe that that corner is going to be able to sustain all that's there currently and what might go there in the future. However, as I stated to the Bergen Record reporter in my first statement, but he didn't publish this, I said to the reporter, I was first and foremost in favor of keeping the tank in Elmwood Park, but I think it should be relocated. My original concern has been it will continue to be, we will continue to make sure that the M56 Scorpion tank regains the honor that it deserves. I had put the question out on social media a few weeks ago, and I put it again out there. I put it out there again last week, and I've gotten pros and cons from residents that are currently living in Elmo Park and residents who have left Elmo Park. As I said, there was pros and cons, but after thinking about the options, I will ask the mayor and the council tonight to allow our borough administrator, Keith Kaczmarek, to look into getting estimates from companies to refurbish the tank. I will also ask the mayor and council to allow Mr. Kaczmarek into looking into the Bergen County open space and see if we can get some grant money for this, as a historic preservation trust fund. And if we can agree on that and these issues, I promise and make a promise that this council and no other council will allow this tank to get to the deterioration that it is in today, and make sure that we give it the honor that it deserves. I will support my council members' decision in keeping it here in Elmo Park. I never originally wanted to see it leave, but I am concerned about the deterioration of this tank, and we have allowed our generation to let this happen. So why would we not consider giving it the honor that it deserves by putting it into a museum if we don't want to take care of it? However, as I said to my council members tonight, if we look into changing and making these decisions, I will support this with the rest of my council that we keep it in Elmo Park. Progress.
One more minute? Okay, we're going to take a short break while our videographer changes the tape, so just stay seated. Okay, we're going back on air now. Will everyone please sit down? Will all the youngsters please sit down? And will everyone please quiet down?
They can't hear.
Please quiet down. Thank you very much, and sit down. We still have a meeting we have to continue. Mr. Voncino?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. I'd like to start by asking the front row, with the exception of Mr. Nestori, did you finish tomorrow's homework? Yeah, no? Still got to work on it? Thumbs up? No? All right. All right.
Oh,
I'd like to start by
excuse me, that young man said that he needs help on his homework. Are you willing to go out and help him?
Absolutely. As long as it's not English.
Young people, will you please sit down? Thank you.
I'd like to start by congratulating Officer Golden on his award, and again, on behalf of the governing body and our community, thank him for his outstanding and proactive police work in intervening and preventing an armed robbery earlier this month. I'd also like to again congratulate Sergeants Harris and Pensari on their promotions to sergeant. These promotions are a long time coming. We needed to wait for the state. They go a long way in filling our table of organization in our police department. I would also like to thank them for deferring their salary increase. It's another example of the excellent working relationship this governing body has with our PBA, and it's a benefit to our community. On the consent agenda, there was resolution R319-14 appointing the Rogers Group to assist us in accreditation. Chief Foligno is proactively looking at updating our police procedures and policies, rules and regulations, and seek full accreditation for our department. Upon becoming chief, he conducted a review of critical documents and determined that they haven't been updated in 15 years, and it represents a liability to our borough for not being up to current standards, guidelines, and requirements. The full accreditation will include site assessments, file reconstruction, and proof of compliance, and it'll take approximately 18 months to complete. Chief Foligno retained the services of the Rogers Group to help prepare for this accreditation, and he sought and obtained a $25,000 grant from JIF to offset the cost of this accreditation. So I commend Chief Foligno for his approach to this. I'd like to talk a little bit about police traffic stops. In the effort to bolster community policing and community relations, the chief has prepared this handout that his officers will be distributing during traffic stops to educate the public. I'm sure you can stop downstairs to get a copy for yourself, and you'll certainly get one if you're stopped by one of our police officers. In light of recent events in Missouri, you can see where the routine can quickly become an intense situation. This leaflet is timely and informative. Let me read a couple of parts to it. Why do police officers stop people? There are many different reasons why a police officer might stop you. The officer may want to warn you about a potentially dangerous situation. You may have committed a traffic violation. The vehicle you are driving may have an equipment violation. The vehicle you are driving may match a description of a vehicle used to commit a criminal act. Please understand that each situation is unique and that a police officer must alter his response to fit the circumstances. Generally, a police officer will provide his or her name and badge number upon request and will inform the driver of the vehicle for the reason they're being stopped. All of the traffic stops that our agency makes are video and audio recorded for your safety and our department's. Our department cares about your safety. So it's quite informative. There's a lot more to it that I didn't share with you, but certainly pick up a copy from our police department. I'm sure they'll share it with you. I'd like to talk a little bit about the tank as well. I was somewhat caught off guard last week when Councilman Dombrowski dropped this bombshell, no pun intended, on the table. On all days, September 11th, when our nation remembers the terrible events 13 years ago and marked the beginning of our war on terror, a war we are still fighting and will most likely fight for years to come. I remember back in my youth, that's a reference to my cousin Vinny. I love that movie. My dad would bring me down to the tank, but he would remind me that it was a mobile anti-tank gun. You see, back in World War II, my dad was part of an anti-aircraft artillery automatic weapons battalion. He fired a 90-millimeter gun at German aircraft. During the Battle of the Bulge, they turned those guns to direct fire on columns of German tanks. He explained how those guns were towed from fire position to fire position by tractors and such. But over the course of the war, the Army mounted these guns on trucks and obsolete tank chassis to create a mobile artillery. Over time, however, these direct fire weapons, such as our M56 tank, were replaced in favor of main battle tanks as the weapon of choice. Indirect fire weapons continued to advance along with the tank, including the self-propelled howitzer, which today is computer-controlled with GPS and inertial guidance. So while I never served in the military, those talks with my dad inspired me to pursue a career supporting our national defense. And similar talks with Pop inspired my two sons to serve our nation in the Air Force and Army after college. So for my family, and I'm sure many others in Elmwood Park, the tank is significant. I do somewhat disagree with my colleague, Councilman Coletti, on one point. He maintains the M56 is iconic. I don't believe that's the case due to its short life in the military history. Personally, I would consider the M4 or the M1A1 as iconic. Rather, I contend that the M56 is symbolic. It represents the sacrifices made by men and women of our community, not only in past conflicts, but presently in Afghanistan and Iraq and on future battlefields in defense of our freedoms we hold dear. So with this issue of the tank, it seems to me to be a red herring. Fort Dix never sought out our tank, but rather the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce sought to find a new home for a piece of our history. Why? Because there was garbage in it? Why not just clean it? There's a perception that there's no room at the corner of Market Street at the Boulevard. Well, previous administrations did a study, a preliminary study, on the planning of that road widening and found there was adequate room. So I think a lot of those concerns were probably misguided, and probably a simple discussion with the governing body would have eased a lot of those concerns. More importantly, given these concerns on the M56, as illustrated in this week's newspaper articles, perhaps the Chamber's energies would have been directed better similar to the fantastic work they're doing on the 5K in developing a fundraiser to offset the cost of refurbishing the M56 to its former glory. Wouldn't it be a fantastic community undertaking and a tribute, timed for Veterans Day in November and perhaps completed by Memorial Day 2015? Now that would be something our town could talk about. What I find really disturbing about this whole issue surrounding the tank is that Councilman Dombrowski is in the middle of it. He brought this to our attention at the meeting last week. As liaison to the Chamber of Commerce, he should have been out front and advised the Chamber to make a recommendation to the governing body. Instead, they sought to unload a significant piece of our history by a decision made by one resident and one councilman. And I find that completely unacceptable and a sad state of affairs for sure. Clearly lacking transparency in the way this was all brought about. Tonight I heard a lot of good things from Councilman Dombrowski about his support for this piece of history. I would think as a minimum we could agree that the anti-tank should be regularly cleaned and remain a permanent presence in our community. So it would serve as a reminder to past service and inspire future generations. So therefore, I would like to make a motion tonight that we keep the M56 Scorpion in Elmwood Park and have our DPW develop a regular cleanup schedule for the monument.
Can I have a second to that?
Second.
Second by Mr. Coletti. Any discussion? Call a roll, please.
On roll call, council members Coletti,
Yes to stay in Elmwood Park.
Dombrowski,
Yes, to stay in Elmwood Park as long as the conditions that I requested are looked into.
Martino,
Yes.
Patagano,
Yes.
Lonsino,
Yes.
Catamagna.
Yes.
Motion carries.
The tank will stay in Elmwood Park. Where it belongs.
I just have one other area I'd like to discuss, and that's the English Ave Park. A number of residents have asked me the status of English Ave, so I'd like to give an update of where it stands as I see it. In 2012 and 2013, our Rec Commission secured $180,000 in Bergen County open space grants to be used for improvements of English Ave Park. The borough, via the Recreation Trust, matches that grant dollar for dollar, resulting in a $360,000 budget for the project at the English Ave Park. The preliminary plan for the project was reviewed with the Commission in 2013 and should have been well on its way to completion in 2014. However, due to contrived issues and inaction by some members of the majority, we have to request a TBD extension for project completion. The project was supposed to be completed this year. If we're not granted that extension, we could be in jeopardy of losing those grants. And it's a TBD extension. Our borough engineer couldn't even put a date in the request because there's no clarity in what we have to do on a project that should be very clear and straightforward, at least in my mind. So shame on us if this happens, because at the end of last year, we had real conceptual plans ready to go, plans that would have allowed the borough and its residents to realize improvements at English Ave. Instead, the majority is paralyzed by the fact that the plan calls for a hockey rink, infrastructure that would provide a home for our fledgling hockey program, and have spent the better part of 2014 trying to undo this plan. And not just in 2014. If you recall a year ago, the same meeting when the mayor was vacationing, Councilman Patagano and Caramagna attempted to derail plans to attain the 2013 portion of the grant that amounted to $80,000. In fact, by my recollection, and I think I'm correct, Dombrowski at the time publicly spoke out against the grant at the meeting. I do recall that Councilman Patagano presented some alleged drug paraphernalia he collected at Cherry Hill Park, and the three individuals insisted our efforts should be redirected to the Cherry Hill Park. What was truly astonishing is that now in 2014, none of these gentlemen have spoke of Cherry Hill with any substance. I can only conclude that last year's show was merely pandering to the Cherry Hill voting bloc in advance of last year's election. In the first part of this year, the majority spent a significant amount of money dismantling our Recreation Commission, concocting an ordinance that consolidates decisions with our rec director and turning our commission into an advisory board. The funny and sad part of this whole thing is the majority doesn't even listen to the advisory board's advice. Isn't that ironic? At the time they passed that new rec ordinance, I commented that there was a hidden agenda out there. We are seeing the first fruits of this with this English Avenue debacle. Now we're talking lights and moving the bomber program to English Ave from Borough Field. What other assurances have been made? I can only wonder. Finally, Councilman Patagano has recently introduced a security concern with the rink at English Avenue. He is concerned that kids may hide in the rink. I was sitting in a meeting in work yesterday, and I received a council email on my phone in the meeting. And it was from our police chief responding to an email from Councilman Patagano. The chief was outlining his concerns relative to English Avenue. What I found entertaining was the series of loaded questions Mr. Patagano posed to the chief in an attempt to get the chief's response to fit his narrative. Moreover, Councilman Patagano did not have the courtesy to copy the entire governing body in his email. I do not believe that this is representative of the transparency our residents deserve. Again, I highlight transparency issues because it's occurred here and, as I see it, with the tank. However, we're fortunate that Chief Foligno demonstrated his professionalism and shared with the entire governing body his position. So in short, the majority is worried about having a rink the kids may hide on, as opposed to creating a facility our children can learn, play, and grow on for years to come. They have turned what should have been a straightforward project into a train wreck. Our residents deserve better. I will work to the best of my ability with this council to keep us focused on completing this project as originally conceived, dealing with and resolving real issues, and getting it back on track. And let's hope we get that extension. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Mayor, can I respond to that?
Yes.
In regard to I'll start from the last first. In regard to the email I sent to Chief Foligno, it was my concern and all of our concerns about the rink being situated in a certain part of the park. It was in the back end, unlit, and unable to monitor this rink. What Councilman Boncino neglected to tell you was that Chief Foligno agreed wholeheartedly with my understanding of the situation and the danger it would be to children and the problems it would create for the police. Now, we did slow down the process as far as money coming from the county, but it was because of this rink and our concern. We have stated this over and over again in the past year that the Rec Commission does not have a plan for our park or parks. And I'm afraid that we are moving forward, putting things in position without really taking into consideration all the options in Elmwood Park. We have 7 parks, and we wanted to put a rink long ways against the fence near a brook in the back of an unlit park. All I could see was danger. And I got my affirmative answer from Chief Foligno. The Rec Commission over the past couple years has talked about a plan. And I was told they had a plan, but it never materialized because it was never in existence. this also piqued my concern about where we were going with our parks. Were we just throwing things willy-nilly into wherever we thought they were okay, or wherever the Rec Commission thought they should go? Now, the Rec Commission has done a good job in many areas, but I'm afraid that they were totally out of their league when it came to positioning and doing large projects in our park. We needed a plan. We need to see what we're going to do over the next 5 to 10 years. We don't need, I'm sorry, but the Rec Commission is an appointed board of volunteers. All of them are very smart people, but none of them are professionals in the care of a rec system and a park system the way our rec director is. She's got the certification, she's got the know-how, and I followed her lead with this park. This was not all my idea. These were her concerns. Her concerns were also that she had no
I have a report I have to give.
Sorry. She could not, she was handcuffed during all the negotiations at every moment, every time with this Rec Commission, and when she made a suggestion that this rink was in a bad spot, they ignored her. I came in to help her with this, and I think we're on the right track. Unfortunately, for my Republican colleagues, attacking me tonight does them no good because I'm not running for election. I'm here to do what's best for the town. I'm here to do what's best for the children. You may laugh, but that's okay. Once you come up here and talk about what we're about to enter into another discussion with the EP United, we're going to get a few things out on the table. I'm glad a lot of parents are here because I don't think you even get all the information.
Thank you.
Mayor, if I may, I'd like to...
Now, let me give my report, then you guys can jump in.
Sure.
Okay? Number one, if we're going to praise Donna Puglisi, as has been indicated, I would suggest we pass a motion this evening to reappoint her for another 5 years, instead of waiting until her term is up and having her hang as to whether she's getting the position. Is anybody willing to do that?
Reappoint her in what position?
As director.
She is the director.
She's already the director.
Reappoint her.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, she's
I don't
not
care
been
if she's been
riced.
riced. We're not saying anything negative about her, and I don't care about being riced. All I'm saying is, if you're going to give her all this praise, reappoint her.
We have a law, Your Honor. We
also have a situation here where we're criticizing, what the Recreation Department's doing. T&M used to be our engineers. To fix English Avenue Park, they wanted $2.9 million. It's not taking that much money to fix English Avenue Park. This was their recommendation appointed by the then Democratic majority. $2.9 million. But I digress. Let me go back to what we had before. I went to the freeholder meeting and presented my case, since I was not at the last council meeting, before the freeholder board, which included Freeholder Tonelli. And I presented him with the information that was presented here that was erroneous. First of all, it was indicated that we got $300,000. $300,000 is wrong. We never got $300,000. It's the county's park. The money was given to Bergen County freeholders and the Parks Commission. Not us. We never got it. That money was approved in 2011 by the Open Space Trust Fund. I was a freeholder for 23 years. I know how it works. They present the information to the freeholder board, and then the information is put on a ballot, on a resolution, and the freeholder board votes on it. That was voted on May 2nd, 2012, before all those people were on the board. The only people that were on that board that voted for it was Freeholder Voss and Freeholder Gantz. Okay, Freeholder Felice is still on that board, but everybody else is new. It was before he was even on the board. And he's coming here praising all that was done, and if it wasn't for two of our councilmen, it would have never passed. 2012. Councilman Dombrowski's correct. Resolution number 665-14 was passed on June 4th, 2014. Once again, it was submitted in 2013 by the Open Space Commission asking that these items be approved by the Freeholder Board. They don't have anything to do with it. I was there. They give you this bond ordinance was $4,995,000. A freeholder doesn't go out there and say, I want to see that Delmont Park is on there. It's not our park. It's the county's park. And that was done in 2013, before Mr. Tonelli was even on the board. It was submitted. It was approved in 2014 because that's how long it takes to do it. And at that meeting, there was also, as Mr. Boncino indicated, $80,000 given to the English Avenue Park improvement, which Mr. Pettigano and Mr. Caramagna voted no. They didn't want it. We would have lost $80,000 if it wasn't for the remaining councilmen that were here. They would have voted no, which I counseled them not to do because I know that they would get that money and they can move it around a little bit. But it appears this is the third or fourth time where I go on vacation and something like this happens. And I would say, with that meeting, and I understand Mr. Tonelli said he was invited to the meeting. I don't know by who, but he said he was invited to the meetings. Now we have this, according to so many seconds into the tape, he said this, it's right here, folks. It was approved in 2013 by the Open Space Committee, and by the time it gets on to the freeholder meeting, it's 2014, and it's worth $4,995,000, and we're just one little portion of that, $80,000. And that had nothing to do with the park that we have at the Waterworks property. My suggestion is, when you're in the hole, stop digging. Just get deeper. That was wrong. That was absolutely wrong. Let me also indicate, and keep in mind the $2.9 million that T&M wanted us to spend on English Avenue, and these board members on the recreation did it in far less than that. Let me also indicate two things. Before everybody starts taking credit for everything, I just want to indicate that the Boswell Engineering Company, at the end of 2013, 2014, were able to do this. They got a state grant for desnagging and dredging the Fleischer Brook with the city of Garfield, $161,000. They got a CD grant, Fleischer Brook, $191,000. They got an additional $63,000 because I worked with them, and they went back to the community development. They got another $63,000 to enhance what was done on Fleischer Brook, and that's the flooding. We got a CD grant again for this year. Hasn't taken place yet. It's going to be an addition. Take a ride down to Kip Avenue. See what we're doing to improve Fleischer Brook. That was $215,000. The boulevard. We're going to be paving 2 sections of the boulevard. That's a state grant. That's $149,000. And then we had, which we did change, we have 2 streets coming in that we're repaving this year, hopefully. Maybe it'll be next year. Another community development grant for $112,000. Ladies and gentlemen, that's $891,000 that was brought in by the Boswell Engineering firm and Peter Tenkin. You know how we thanked them? We fired them. We appointed another engineer. I want to see how much money this engineer is going to save. How many years is it going to take before he reaches $891,000 that he brought in, along with my help, since I know the freeholder area and how to obtain this money. So we do dig ourselves into holes sometimes. Let's stop digging. Let's stop talking about the tank. Let's stop talking about English Avenue. They're doing a good job. Now all of a sudden, we're getting religion. On another topic, ladies and gentlemen, I attended a meeting at the Passaic Valley Water Commission with the mayor of Woodland Park, Mr. Keith Kaczmarek. That was yesterday. I made my comments, and I agreed with him. He has some problems in Woodland Park in which they are going to try to take away his reservoirs and put tanks in, water tanks. I agree with him 100% on that. But I was there to represent Elmwood Park and all the people who use Passaic Valley water. What they want to do is remove the reservoirs, put some tanks in, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's about $134 million. Is that correct?
135.
135. Give or take a million after a while. $135 million it would cost. I was worried about how much it would increase our water rates if that took place. The answer I was given, we'll get back to you. Okay? Now, if the project doesn't take place, we're going to save that money. If it takes place, not only Elmwood Park, but every other community that uses Passaic Valley water is going to have a tremendous water rate increase. So that's what I was there, worrying about Elmwood Park, worrying about a water rate increase, and having to listen about moving a tank because it is so dirty. I went there. Mr. Dombrowski brought it up on Thursday. I went there Saturday morning. It wasn't that bad. It's got to be painted, okay. But it wasn't like if you touched it, you got a disease. So let's take care of the tank. We can do that. Maybe somebody from the Chamber of Commerce who has a spray gun or a business that way can help out. But let's keep the tank where it is. We've analyzed it. How are we going to move it back and forth back? Let's look at the plan as to where the clock is going. And let me tell you, if the clock was put up 8 years ago, we'd have to tear it down because that corner is being removed. Okay? So please, I would like to see some type of correction in our local paper that what Mr. Freeholder Tonelli said, he misspoke. I want to be kind, he misspoke. And that these resolutions were passed well before he got on. They didn't pertain solely to Elmwood Park or the artesian wells. It was a whole county, $4.9 million. We're just a small part of it. So let's stop beating that dead horse, and maybe next year I'm going to have, there was an article in the Bergen Record many years ago. When I went on vacation, we had another situation where controversy developed, and there was an editorial in the papers asking me, Mayor, go down to the Jersey Shore so you can come back to the meeting. I'm not going to do that. I hope we have more respect next time. I'm going to open it to the public.
Excuse me, Mayor, I'd like to make some comments. First of all, you want to talk about stop beating a dead horse. Please stop talking about T&M. That's not part of this regime. That's past.
Part of Mr. Karamanya's
well,
regime.
you talk about.
And I'll beat that dead horse until you stop changing.
Here we go.
Until you stop changing engineers.
I will concur. Excuse me. I will say once again that Freeholder Tonelli did not misspeak. He was very, very clear in what he stated. Go back to the tapes, look at it yourself. In that $4.9 million resolution that they passed on the 4th of June, there's also another $100,000 going towards the artesian fields. So, again, the freeholder did not misspeak. And yes, the money was appropriated in 2012. And shame on us for sitting for years and not doing anything about it. Shame on the administrations for not doing anything and putting it into the forefront. Mayor, you were a freeholder for 23 years. You know how this all works. You could have got around this. You could have got this done sooner. I'm sorry that as a new councilman, The day after we had our meeting, the next day was a freeholder meeting. We were there. We were talking about the park. Why? Because it was the public that said to us, what are we doing with the park? Did the public know last year that it was there for 2 years, the money? I think if they did, they would have been more supportive of us trying to get something done. Progress.
I just want to say a few words, man, not too much.
Just let me
Every
give
time,
Mr.
Mayor.
Caramagna-
Can I say something?
Yes,
please?
okay, yeah.
Okay? I know you run the meeting, but you allow me to say a few words at least. 14 years on the council here, always he stopped me. I just want to tell you that every time we try to do something good, we work very hard, we get things approved, you don't like it. You just want to be on the front page over and over again. You know, tell the public, all the things we accomplish, you don't even vote. Guys, a former government, the mayor is a weak mayor. The council is a strong council. He doesn't vote. Whatever you see good done is the council, the majority to vote. He doesn't vote. All the credit he gives himself, it's not him. Again, he was on a freeholder for so many years. What did he do for this town? Nothing. Look Elmwood Park. Look Fairlawn. Look Saddlebrook. Look Garfield. And we stay back over and over again. Come on, let's wake up. Let's stop talking. Let's do the work. Actions are very important. Thank you.
Mr. Caramagna, we have eight culverts in town that belong to the county. They've all been replaced. I was here. Market Street's been paved many times.
No.
River Drive has been paved many times. We've gotten so much done. Mr. Caramagna, I remember getting one culvert from the county, and you voted no not to have it replaced. You remember that? You voted no not to have it replaced.
I vote. You never vote.
If the mayor's position is a weak mayor position, why have you run for mayor so many times? That's my question. If you want to put your accomplishments up against my accomplishments, we can line them up and we can analyze it. But Mr. Caramagna and Mr. Dombrowski, I said before, when you're in a hole, stop digging. This was all approved by the freeholders years before, and they did not add Elmwood Park to the list. The list was submitted by the Bergen County Open Space Committee, and it was done, along with every other town in Bergen County that had an appropriation part of that 4.9 million. Let's stop talking around it. It was wrong. Mr. Tonelli was asked to come here, and he said he told the truth. If he told the truth, the headline in our community news would not have said 300,000 when we really got 350,000. So there was a mistake. I'm not going to list all those things, okay? If he misspoke, he misspoke. I don't know why he was invited, and I don't know who he was invited. But I hope we clear that up, that you didn't bring it in. It's been worked on by Mr. Ron Kistner, the Parks Director, for many years, and now we're going to have a walking path that goes through the whole park when it was only halfway through the park when it was really designed. And if you're going to bring in Mr. McNerney, the former county executive, maybe that's why nothing happened for 8 years, because I was sitting here and he was the executive, and he didn't want to give anybody credit and didn't want to help us in Elmwood Park. Ladies and gentlemen,
Mayor, 20 seconds.
Sure.
I guess I'm happy that no one's mentioned my name, good or bad. I don't know if that's good or bad,
That's
but you know
good.
what, though? I'm happy that I'm not getting attacked tonight. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to, we have some young people here, and I would like to call on them. I want to open it to the public. And if there's anyone here representing the young people, please come up first so that they can go home and get some work done. You can turn around a little bit more, please? No, towards us. Towards us.
Towards you?
Towards this way.
Nice to see you, Mayor. How's your vacation?
It was excellent.
Good. Glad to see you back.
Say your name and address for the record.
Sure. Shaquem Fakori, 109 Washington Avenue, Elmwood Park, 07407.
Thank you.
I'm here to ask Councilman Martino, Mr. Perigano, Mr. Pacino, Mr. Dabrowski, Mr. Carmagna, what's going on?
Excuse,
with
are
the
you
boys?
excluding Councilman Coletti?
It's okay.
Actually, I haven't, because I haven't really met with him, and he seemed like the guy that's in the background, so. No, you're not, I didn't include him. Sorry, Mr. Colette.
Would you like me to leave?
No, you can stay. Thank you. But I just, Councilman, these people have voted for you. They need an answer, which we didn't get from you, either by phone, by email, or anything. Why, the reason we cannot use the Borough field.
I'd be happy to, Shakib, we've had, and I appreciate all the parents coming here, because I'm very happy all the parents are here tonight, because I'm afraid you're not getting all the information. Shakib and I have had several conversations. Shakib had the chance to get all, bless you, to be able to get all the fields he wanted next year and possibly this year. Unfortunately, Shakib, you did not give me all the paperwork that I asked of you.
That's a lie, Mr. Pettigano.
It's
That's a lie. You don't need to lie. Everything is a fact, everything is written down, so. You asked us for the fingerprints, every coach here went for their fingerprints. You asked us for the roster, right? Mr. Ricino, you were there?
We asked you
Right,
for...
correct? Mr. Dabrowski, you were at the meeting?
I was there.
Yes,
and I
thank you.
Let me answer you. From what I understand, yes, you did supply a roster with
Right.
a name,
That's what you asked us for.
everything blacked out, Elmwood Park.
That's what you asked us for. You were
That's
at the
not,
meeting.
that's
Shakib,
not,
Shakib,
that is not what was
There
asked
is-
of you.
Listen to me, Mr. Dombrowski. There is an email.
Listen to me, please.
Yes,
Listen to me.
Mr. Mayor.
Make your statement, and then if one of the council wants to reply, but let's not get into a back and forth.
Well, I don't want them to say something that's not true, Mr. Mayor.
I agree. I agree.
If they say the truth, then I'll be quiet.
Okay,
Thank you.
continue.
I'll let them speak.
As I said, from what I understand, the roster that you submitted did not have the information that was clearly stated on the form that Donna Puglisi sent to you, or to, I think, through Glenn.
Never heard from Mr. Puglisi. Never heard from him.
I might just quantify it by saying I believe it came through Councilman Pettigano.
Okay, I just want you to have the facts so these people understand exactly what's going on.
And I'm-
They have everything written down, but
I'm trying-
explain.
I'm
not
trying-
lying. Somebody is, but go ahead.
I'm really trying to answer your question.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
From what I understand, the information that was given to the Recreation Board was not in compliance with the letter that was given to Councilman Pettigano to give to you. If you didn't get it, are
Mr.
you
Dombrowski,
saying
that
that you
is a
didn't get
lie.
it? Are you saying you didn't get the letter?
That is a lie. I'm telling you, it's a lie.
I didn't see what you submitted, so I can't say whether it's
So I think let somebody that saw it speak.
Let me clear this up,
Go ahead.
please.
Yes.
At the beginning of the year, we did ask you for paperwork.
Correct.
You sent most of it.
No, we sent
Can
all of it.
I please finish, Shakib?
Sure.
Thank you. When you sent me the paperwork, I came back to you and I said, Shakib, would you please supply the street names to all the names of the children so that we can verify their address? Your reply to me was no.
That's a lie.
All right.
That's a lie.
Do I have that new paperwork? No, no.
You have not asked me for anything in writing. What you did, speak to me on the phone. You said to me, listen, you said to me,
Email.
I need the kid's address, which you can verify anyway, but they're here. You can ask them for their address.
Shakib, that's not how it works, Shakib.
Listen to me.
You have to follow. No, no. You
The
have.
second thing you said to me on the phone is, even if you supply me with whatever information I'm asking you, you can't get the field. That's your answer to me.
At the end, it was because all the fields
Correct.
were.
So, what is the reason for me to give you that?
Let's hold it down a little bit, and
Give me one.
if I can,
Go ahead, Mr. Mayor.
We have a councilman here. If you feel he's not told you the truth, you say that's not true. Let's not call each other liars. Okay? Please.
I'm just telling you the facts.
Okay.
They're all on paper, Mr. Mayor. I'm not saying things out of the blue.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
And neither am I, Shakib.
Fine, that's what you
Okay.
say.
We have gone back and forth on emails. I have talked to you on the phone. I've asked you. By the time I got the information, the season had started. The fields were given out. Okay. Then when I said, just supply me with the street names, you said no.
No, that's a lie. That's outright lie. So don't say that, please.
All right.
Please,
All right.
tell the truth, it's okay.
All
Don't lie.
right, I'm going to tell the truth.
Go ahead.
To EP United parents, I think you have the wrong person bringing this issue to us. This is what we get all the time. We're not allowed to talk. He doesn't compromise. You could have had some playing time on our fields. Yes, you could have had plenty of playing time on our fields.
Here is another lie. This is my second time up here. My first time up here, Mr. Mayor, you were here. Was I disrespectful to anybody? Thank you, Mayor.
Shakib,
Please, Mr. Ferragamo, if you have to say something, say the truth. That's all it is.
How many years have you been going through this?
This is our 8th season, 4 years.
And you've
We never came here before. We went to the recreation board at all times. When you were running for office, Mr. Martino, as a matter of fact, Mr. Martino is keeping quiet. I was at the field. You had 7 kids in there. You told me, I don't know why they don't give you the field. There's nobody on the field. Is that correct, Mr. Martino?
Okay, let's not use the word lie. First of all, don't speak out of turn. I'm not going to answer, Mayor, if they're going to all speak.
Excuse me, one moment. Does anybody here understand that there is an ordinance on our books relating to this issue? Okay? There's a 3-tier system in our town. Number 1 tier are rec programs. They get number 1 pick of all the fields. Number 2 tier are schools and the school system. They are second in line to the rec to receive and use our fields. Third are outside entities who are not part of our rec system. Now that would include EP United, that would include softball, Bombers, and Little League.
No one from the audience, please. Let's just finish here.
But the problem here is that none of the other organizations are in direct conflict with our soccer program, okay? The Bombers don't have an opposing club. None of them do. If the rec had a football program, the Bombers would not get fields. But I offered Shakib the chance this year to make amends with Donna Pugliese and bury the hatchet, get all the old issues out of the way. I invited Shakib to come and join the rec. Okay, the rec plays out of Morris County. This league is equally as good as the Bergen League, which we were held out of as a rec association because of political posturing within that league. We were denied entry when other towns were not denied entry. So we have our suspicions where this came from.
You don't need a suspicion, I can tell you. We didn't allow Peter Scalaro to have another club in town while there was the club in town. So you don't need, there is no suspicion, and I tell you what it is.
So because of one issue with one man, you're not willing to...
There is no issue. This is a small town. We don't need 2 clubs in town. Why do we need another club created in the town?
But you created another club.
You know, there was no club before EP United, so Tell those people the truth.
No, that's
there was no club in EP before us, so don't say...
You're right, because
Correct.
you approached the commission, Donna Pugliese, you wanted to start a traveling program.
Correct.
And within that year, she said, we will start it. But
She said no, flat out no. We don't have the facilities, we don't have the stuff.
We do have more people who may want to speak. If you have a comment, you can come back later. I just want to get more people to speak.
I'll just finish up real quick. I would suggest...
Then you have to give the last word.
Okay. I would suggest that parents from the association call me, talk to me. I'm only talking to one person here. How many are there in this league? There must be 80 or 90 children. Am I correct?
A lot more.
Okay.
They all have back to school.
You don't know how many?
They're being for tomorrow.
You're
I
not...
know exactly how many, Mr.
How many?
About 120.
Okay. The rec has over 200, I believe. Am I correct? Does anybody know 200 out there? There are over 200. Now, if you figure out how many fields we have and how many clubs we have and how much time we have with all the fields, the games, and the practices, once these are given out, there's no room. And when you see a field empty, it could be filled up in 15 minutes, as it did right after you spoke to Mr. Councilman Martino, and you wanted to know why. Hey, you're the boss.
I didn't say why. He told me.
I'm open to anybody calling me, okay? Email me, whatever, but I cannot talk to this man anymore because your club is going nowhere fast with him directing you.
That's good way to make friends. Good. Last word.
Gentlemen, just so you know, I'm a soccer guy. I'm not a politician. Just to tell you something, Mr. Parigano, I always be a soccer guy. I'm not interested in your politics or anybody else's politics. But for you to say that is a shame, because when you sat in my living room, when your colleagues were running for office, you might be interested in this, Mayor. I see you opening your eyes. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Dabrowski. Mr. Martino, your words were you're going to be fair with everybody. Parents, these are the people you voted for. So make sure when they're running again, you know not to vote for them. Thank you.
Who would like to speak next?
Mayor. Which way?
All right, turn it towards us. There you go. Thank you. Thank you.
Deanne Gelano, 31 Parkview Avenue, Elmwood Park. Councilman Lucino?
Yeah.
I have to agree with you when you said shame on this council. I really do. I have to agree with you when you said it's important to have transparency. Mr. Parigani, I have to agree with you when you say that Mr. Boschini is up for re-election. You will be up for re-election next year. It saddens me that we met on August 4th to discuss the issues. On June 23rd, we came here and we presented our case. You guys were open, receptive to help, or it appeared to be that way. What we got was a meeting outlining specifically what we need to do to get the fields. No time during that discussion was kids' street addresses ever mentioned. No time whatsoever. So this is like
when it came back to me.
Wait. Let her finish.
New information.
Excuse me, we're going to have 5 minutes and I have to change the tape again.
No problem, Mr. Mayor, I understand.
Okay, you can continue.
I have an email here from Donna Pugliese, and I quote, "A list of of all your approved coaches who will be coaching for this fall season. That's what she needs. Copies of all coaches' fingerprint background checks. If you have a photo ID badge for coaches, copies of those also. Rosters of all children, names, and city of residence. City of residence, not street address, and city of residence. Okay, that's 2013. We have been at this, path for 4 years, 8 seasons. Okay, that was 2013. 2014. Per our conversation this morning, please be advised that I will need a list of all your players' names, cities, and team divisions. So either you're not being told the truth, or it's hard to hit a moving target, because whatever we present is never good enough. No matter what time of the year we submit paperwork, no matter how soon we submit it, things change. Each season, it's a different reason of us not having to complete paperwork. Just want to mention Jacob. How old are you, Jacob? 11. That means 4 years he has not been on a field that his parents have been paying taxes on. Mr. Mayor, any one of these kids could be your grandchildren. Anyone.
If they're boys, I don't have any. You're welcome.
Okay, fine. What if they said to you, Grandpa, why is it we can't play on a field and we submit the paperwork every single day? I'll tell you this, I'll be up here supporting your grandchild the same way I am for kids who are voiceless. We are a small community. It's a field. It's not as though like we want to, buy the field or, use it for something other than the kids. The adults want no part of the field. It's the kids. What's so hard? We met. We did every single thing you asked us to do. Every single thing. We also made note that the field is not being used. Yes, it's a huge field. One section is being used and the other sections are not. Come on, guys, do it for the kids. Do it for the kids.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They're going to have another short break while he changes the tape again. Okay, let me just make a comment before we go back on again. We are on, but I don't know if you parents want to stay. You're welcome to stay. We have a lot of young kids here. It's now 10 to 10. If any parent would like to speak and then leave, we can do that, or however I would like the young people to go back and get their rest. Any suggestions? Okay, then you're welcome to say.
Peter Scalaro, 12 Craig Court. I didn't realize I was the driving force to keep 100 of our children from going to Phillipsburg, Morristown. So are you for the kids or are you for your kids? I've always been for the kids, for the rec. That's why I'm still with the rec. But on that note, we have a Columbus Day weekend tournament. We have 35 teams coming in. We love the support you've been giving us, and we will continue to be Elmwood Park Soccer. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else who wishes to speak? Mr. Kaplan,
There's somebody coming
a lady coming up. Wait, Mel.
Ladies first, Mr. Kaplan.
No, Mr. Kaplan got him first. We got to argue about that now?
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
Hi, Terry Moody, I live on Chamberlain Ave, 36.
Yes,
I was here 2 meetings ago about traffic problem on Chamberlain Ave. I addressed it to the council. I came back I was here last month to thank everyone on the council and Officer Barone for what they did, that they solved the main problem, that the lines on the streets were painted. And after that meeting, the following week, there was a meeting with business owners and someone from the town, and I was approached by a business owner that to let me know that at that meeting, whoever was there from the town told them that I had requested 2-hour parking on Chamberlain Ave. I
Who was at
never
that meeting?
requested
Excuse me,
that.
who was at the meeting?
And maybe it wasn't said, this is what was said to me.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just
Yeah.
coming here tonight to put it on film so that my neighbors and the business owners know that no way did I ever request that I would ever want to inconvenience myself, all my neighbors, and the business owners. So I just want to go on record that I never requested that.
Thank you.
And to thank you for what you did so far. Now I want to go back home and live in peace with my neighbors and the business owners. Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, Mrs. Moody, just so you have some perspective on this, myself and Chief Foligno sat in that meeting. At no point was it ever represented that you were the one to propose 2-hour parking. What we had indicated to the business owners at that meeting was that this had been a topic of discussion amongst this council and probably the last 2 previous councils as to folks who are non-residents parking on those 2 streets near your home. And that one of the options that was discussed amongst the council and by the police department was the possibility of 2-hour parking. But in no way, shape, or form was it attributed to you.
So that's how it was presented to me, but I just want to make it
It's still,
to the neighbors.
it's still an ongoing problem that we have to resolve. Mr. Kepler?
You resolved most of it. We can get up and down.
Good evening, gentlemen. Melvin Kaplan, Glenwood Avenue, Elmwood Park. I just have a change of thought. I was going to admonish those councilmen that wanted to get rid of the Army tank in town. But since you all voted now to keep it, I congratulate you. You must remember, this tank has a lot of history. During the 200th anniversary of our country in 1976, the town had a celebration, and the tank was a focal point of the celebration. Also, the tank is a memorial to all those veterans who gave their all for our great country. And it is a monument to all us veterans who serve our country. If the Chamber of Commerce is so concerned about the garbage and the wastebasket, why don't the Chamber of Commerce establish a fund to repair, maintain, and clean up the tank so that it is in a more presentable condition. Also, as far as moving it, a long time ago, I forget, 2, 3, 4 years ago, the county gave the Elmwood Park Planning Board a map of the cut-off corner, and we had the DPW do a survey that there was room to move the tank back and still have the tank and the Christmas tree to stay where they are. There's room for the tank, there's room for everything, and remember, it is a memorial to those that served our country. Gentlemen, thank you for keeping the tank in town, but like I say, if the Chamber of Commerce is so concerned with something that's not their business, then let them establish a fund to maintain it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else who wishes to be heard?
Good evening, everyone. everyone. My name is Beata Molesa, and I live at 151 Fensac Avenue here in Emerald Park. And I'm on behalf of EP parents, and as all of you, I have my letters. I would like to read it before all we go home. My name is Beata Molesa, and I'm the team mom for 11 years old boys from EP United Soccer Club, which most of them were here, and some of them were on the left. I have two boys that love to play soccer and play for EP United. Tonight, many parents and kids are here and would like to get an explanation why we cannot get permits for the rec field that has lights or any other park in town where boys can practice. And as we heard today, we have 7 parks in our town. Over the summer, the club could not get a permit, so we were practicing in county parks. Is it okay? No, it's not. We live in town, our kids go to school here, and EP has many parks, 7 of them, which is hard to believe that all of them were already taken by other teams and sports. And it happens to be in August, coming back from our practice at the county park, we stopped by the rec field, since our friends were there. Then we learned that from her that her daughter was trying out for the girls' soccer team. Good for her, but not for us, as we learned. She told us that her coach is from Totowa and he's here with his team holding tryouts. So other teams from other towns are coming here under the rec and getting the kids to play there, where we live here in Elmwood Park and we cannot get even one day at any of the parks there, not mentioning the rec field with the lights. So then we wondered, does our town have so many fields that rec is bringing in town from other towns? Why they got field permits and we do not? We are in this, where we are in this. So we are tired, upset, and very disappointed. We feel that we are being pushed around. We cannot understand, and even though we are the residents of Elmwood Park, we pay taxes here. Our kids go to school here, but we cannot get the permits to use the rec fields or any of them, even one day a week. We are aware that our rec has many programs that are using the fields, but not us. We are glad that they can, but where is the fair share for us? We only asking a fair share to be kind of heard that we are here and why we cannot get even one day a week. All of us know we have been attending a rec board meeting where it has existed. Then we've been told that we are here to second, not the third now. And the fields are being used by other rec programs, but there's no room for us. And even the answer that the grass has to have time to grow. We cannot understand it that there are kids that live out of town, and it's okay that they use our Elmwood Park fields. We live here and we cannot. Where is the logic? We parents do not understand that. We cannot understand we are being denied the fair share to use those fields. Other programs can, but why we not? We hear all the times that everyone here is for the kids. What kids? Elmwood Park kids or other kids from all the towns that are coming to use our fields? Because our kids still do not have a place to practice. When we vote for you guys not that time ago, we hope that something will change. But so far, we do not see any difference. So how long do we have to wait until you do something? We attended many unproductive meetings, and I hope this one will not be the one. It's not fair to us and to our kids. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be happy. I'll be happy to check on the Totowa thing you said.
Thank you.
I'll be happy to check on that Totowa issue, okay? But I'm afraid that there's probably a misunderstanding.
Maybe, but I don't want to get anyone in trouble. The point is, if the rec brings other kids or teams in town, it's fine, because we are all for, kids have something to do in the afternoon, the programs, there are parents, volunteers that want to help, so the kids actually enjoy the sports instead of watching TV or looking for the travel. But if they are bringing the other towns
They're not,
teams
though. They're not bringing out-of-town teams.
then
I can assure
we cannot use that? Give us the first share. Do you understand? We don't want to complain that they are
Let's
there.
not go back and forth.
Just
We
give
have
us
lined
the
up.
same kind of opportunity to have the field. That's all we're asking for.
Thank
We
you.
don't want to get anyone in trouble.
One quick question. Would you be happy playing with the Rec Association? equally as much?
No, I'm happy with my team. So
Okay,
it's like,
well,
I don't understand why we cannot share the same rec department, the same field.
Thank
Do
you.
I need to change it? Why?
Thank you.
thank you.
Next, please, name and address.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ivana Nanchusky, 255 Falmouth Avenue, Elmwood Park, New Jersey. First of all, excuse my English. I'm stressing out. Might get worse or might get better.
It's doing fine. It's doing
I'm
great.
as a parent. I don't know all the politics, rec, school, EP. I have no clue. I moved here 10 years ago. My son, 6 years ago, started playing soccer for Garfield Vistula, I believe. And I was looking for a local club. I had a baby on a close commute, and I was transferred to EP United. I have no clue. I don't play for Mr. Shakib. I don't know who's the other director of the rec center soccer is. I want my son play. That's all we're asking for. We're asking for the field. As far as I know, our club plays for northern countries. We represent Bergen County. When we go and play and we're taking our trophies and we're doing very well, all our teams, we're moving flyer up, flyer up. We don't play as a EP United, Mr. Shakib. We play as a Elmwood Park. And everybody should be proud of all our kids. We're talking about. We're leaving the field as a Elmwood Park. Not Mr. Shakib team, not EP United. We go there as a Elmwood Park. We're known as a Elmwood Park. So I really don't know how to explain my 10 years old why he can play and use beautiful field with the lights. We're not asking for money. We're not asking for financial support. All we're asking as a parents for our kids to be eligible to play on the field and proudly represent Elmwood Park.
Thank you.
D'Angelo, 31 Parkview Avenue, Elmwood Park.
Excuse me, did you speak before?
Yes, I did.
Well, let's get to people who haven't spoken, then we'll convene you
I'm
back.
here, you know.
No, let's get
It's
to-
going to be a few minutes.
What, 2 minutes?
Yeah, no problem.
All these people
I just
want
wanted
to
to
speak.
save you some time, Mr.
Pedagano.
Pedagano, yeah, when you cover that. We did an OPA report, and
I'm
what-
sorry, a ballpark?
OPA, Open Public Record Act, and there are 40% of the kids that are in the rec program that are not from town, okay? I don't know what you're being told, but you're not being told the truth.
That's not the issue here, though.
Well, you are stating things, and I have documented proof from the rec that there's a disconnect in terms of what you are being told and regurgitating to us and what we have
I
from
didn't
the rec.
relate that to you, though.
No, well,
Hold on, let's
you
not-
said
let's
there's
not go
no,
back and forth.
there's no team from Totowa that's playing at the rec.
Correct.
40% of the kids are not from Elmwood Park. That's a problem. Secondly, and this is my final thing, it's hard to make a decision, especially one that's not always popular. But we have a call of responsibility to do what's fair and right, to look at things from an objective standpoint. And at this point, I want to acknowledge a lot of the Board of Ed members that are here. They're making a very hard decision in front of a lot of public criticism about the $2.2 million to redo the field. But you know what? They got one thing in mind, and that one thing is for the kids. All work and no play makes Jack a really dull boy. So they're creating a balance. I would like you guys to just look at this from an objective standpoint. We are taxpayers, our kids go to school here, live here. What would it take, or why is it so hard for us just to get 2 hours? Stick us in the corner, wherever you want on the ball field, just to be able. We have submitted everything, and I have documented proof to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next. Excuse me, anybody else who wishes to be heard on that topic? Okay, so if the young people want to leave, that's fine. Mr. Mulligan.
William Mulligan, 23 Carruth Avenue, Elmwood Park. I'd like to thank the council for keeping the Scorpion here in Elmwood Park, number one. Number two, there's never ever been a really sit-down thing with the Veterans Alliance and the mayor and council about moving the tank forward. There was conversation with different individuals. There was always room there. Now everybody agrees that there is room. But we are offended by two people's statement in the paper that said the veterans, meaning the VFW and the American Legion, have no use for the tank, don't want the tank. Now, it's in the paper today, it was in the paper twice. And I think the VFW and the American Legion ought to get an apology for them two people that made that statement. I'm not asking for it now, but I'm just putting it on record. And I also got something I'd like to read that was in the paper about 20 years ago.
If I may, I just want to indicate that Mr. Mulligan is the commander of the VFW in Elmwood Park.
Yes, commander of the VFW and right now the president of the Veterans Alliance.
And was one of the people I just found out today, Willie, that you and Bud Stewart, who's sitting right here, were the ones who originally went up to Fort Drum to get the tank and brought it down?
No, I wasn't involved. I was still a kid.
Well, your name is in the paper, so...
No, I'm going to read the article.
Okay.
Is it a tank? Is it a cannon? It is by Marion Pagan, record staff writer.
That's
Talk
very
to
good.
3 people in Elmwood Park and you'll get 3 different answers about the tank on display in the Boulevard of Market Street. It's been called a tank, a cannon, and a World War I memorial. But it's none of these. It's M56 Scorpion's self-propelled anti-tank game. The Elmwood Park Scorpion was part of the equipment of the 173rd Airborne in Vietnam. It is a special lightweight vehicle on tracks with a cannon mounted on top, developed for the use of the airborne forces. It could easily be dropped by parachute into the rough jungle terrain. Part of the confusion about the Scorpion's identified rises from its lack of descriptive plaque or sign. It is right on the corner where the Recreation Office Youth Center is located. Joe DeSori, a Vietnam veteran, a member of the American Legion, Post 147, and VFW Post 5084, an employee of Elmwood Park DPW, was first to identify the Scorpion. The record gave it its full name. He has created a display of historical facts at the VFW post home. William Mulligan, who served in Vietnam in 1966 and 68, said the M60 installation took place before his term in VFW office. He knew post-record showed that it had been trucked to Elmwood Park from a military base, Fort Drum, but the year that it took place remains a mystery. Mulligan's mother, Martha, VFW auxiliary member, said post member Herbert Bud Stewart, like you said, is sitting right over there, went up to the military base at Middletown, New York, with a truck to bring the Scorpion back to Elmwood Park. American Legion member Joe Butcher-Grossi of MBM Movers, he and other several members assisted the transportation of the Scorpion. A truck was lent by Main Trucking of Elmwood Park. It was in running order when it was brought here in time to take a Memorial Day parade, Butcher-Grossi said. I don't know if it can still be made to run. So it's been here for 50 years, like we were saying, but Mr. Stewart was one of the original ones that went up there. And as far as the care of the tank, Stewart, Mr. Mattel, and somebody else painted that tank about 8 years ago. We had connections with people in the National Guard and stuff to get the OD paint. We don't have those connections anymore because most of them are gone. So, and like I said, we're still upset about what 2 people put in the paper. I'd like to thank you again.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Excuse me, Mr. Mulligan.
Yes, sir.
First of all, thank you for coming up and speaking. I believe that one of the people that you're talking about is probably myself.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, that's fair. I have no problem with you calling me out on this. I would like to explain myself to you, though, as I tried to earlier on. It was my understanding that the organizations were contacted. However, I wasn't there for the meeting, so I can't say it actually happened. So if I said something that the organizations didn't want it, I think my quote was that the organizations are having a hard enough time maintaining and keeping the doors open, and I don't think that you had the money to support the tanks. However, you know, things do get misconstrued in different articles here and there, and they could be wording could be, just like the words that I said to the reporter that when I first opened up my conversation yesterday was, first and foremost, I want to keep this tank in Elmwood Park. That didn't show up in the paper, okay? So, as I said, certain words can be misunderstood. But I do apologize to you, a veteran of the Vietnam War. I apologize to all the veterans out here. By no means was my passion for this tank to get fixed and get back to the decoration it deserves was against any of our veterans in town. Okay, and I do apologize if you took it that way. If the news ran in that respect. This is a tank that deserves to be honored, okay? And if the honor is not being given it by this generation here in this town, maybe, and that's the reason why I said maybe Fort Dix should get it and put it in a museum where other veterans are going to, as well as people to go and honor not only the M56, but other military vehicles. That's all I was trying to say.
Okay.
However, as I said, that was my choice. That was my words, not the words of this council or the mayor. And I recant and say, you know what? I support as long as we, as a council, make sure that we never let this happen again. That we never let that tank get to the condition that it's in today.
Please, I think we're relieving the whole thing and people are apologizing for what we're doing. Thank you, Mr. Mulligan. Anyone else?
Mayor, if I may, just 1 second while Mr. Mulligan's here. Mr. Mulligan, some 2 years ago, when the topic came up of the intersection being reconfigured, the council authorized myself and former Councilman Castiglia to see the feasibility of keeping the tank at that location or if it should be moved in another location in Elmwood Park because the new configuration would not allow it to be there. So what we did was we were in touch with Scott Cars and we went down to the corner, we took the proposed plans of the renovation of the intersection, we lined it out with rope, and we realized that the tank will be moved back 12 feet. It will not disturb any underground piping. It could stay in that area, and that was our determination, just so you know how that went, Mr. Mulligan.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Anyone else? George, if you want to speak, get in line.
George, it starts back there.
Elmwood Drive. I am with EP United. I'm the vice president of EP United.
I can stand longer.
And I just, it saddens me that we're going through this, being that our kids have the right to use that field. We've met the councilman as Shakib and Deanne, as I said before. I've been to all those meetings. Our first meeting, I stated, and quote me if I'm wrong, all we want is fair treatment. We don't want special treatment, we want fair treatment. 1 night a week, that's what we ask. I understand you said the field could be filled in 15 minutes. Yes. But every week you pass by, it's at least 1 or 2 days where there's nobody there. I just drove by here from the back to school night. Nobody in the field. Now, if you go by the school, who would be more than helpful to us, we have practice. There were 3 teams there, on back to school night. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying, I'm not worried about any of the programs. They do whatever they want, that's okay. But if there's a constant emptiness in that field, something could be worked out, or am I wrong? If you know you have a program that's asking for field time, and other programs are not fulfilling that time, couldn't we work something out? Am I right? Anybody?
I'm not sure.
I'm just saying, if you have a program, like I said, I'm not condemning any of the programs. They all have their schedules, they all have their things happen. But this is on a constant basis. And I've talked to you about it, I've talked to you about it. And you guys go through there too. And like I said, I don't know who's got the time, who doesn't. But if you have a program that wants to use the field, and you all know, and I've told you, if my club says we need the field Tuesdays and Thursdays, I guarantee you that there are at least 2 or 3 teams there. And now we have the Young Kids Clinic.
Mr. Savalas, if I may answer you, or try to. Just because the field is empty doesn't mean that there is not a permit for that field. My question to you will be, is in a case where there's an issue where a coach had to cancel practice, is EP United available on last-second phone call to get the field filled? That's the... All I'm trying to say is...
You know, gentlemen, we're discussing this at a council meeting. Can't we sit down and try to resolve it? And not a council, we still have people standing up waiting to speak. So we're not going to solve it this evening. So maybe Mr. Pedagano, and I'm not cutting you short. Maybe Mr. Pedagano and Ms. Puglisi can arrange a meeting.
We tried the meetings the last time.
Emails where they were scheduled meetings and they canceled the meetings.
I can't hear you because you're not on the television.
We got a response, so we're gonna get a response about the field about a week and a half ago. And we were told, you know by the end of the night. And after that, we didn't hear nothing. Now, my point also is, if we ask for the rec fields, we should be hearing a response denying or approving from the rec director in writing.
The rec board doesn't handle it anymore.
The rec director, not the board.
Yes, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay? We haven't got nothing. No response, what's going on, this happened, nothing. All we got is, and I was at that meeting where they requested all the documents. I was sitting next to Councilman Dombrowski. They asked name, last name, and city. And I quote, I was sitting there and I asked everybody, is that all you need? I had the fingerprints.
And I came back to you and asked you for more information, and
what
we did not get it.
Here we go again. Here we go again.
I know.
You asked me for documents.
Same thing over and over.
We handed them in, and the next week is you need something else. And the next week, and I'm not saying you in particular, I'm just saying that was going back to us. For 8 seasons, we turned something in, oh no, you denied, you need this. Okay, next season, you submit it, you deny, you need this. That is the whole point. That's why everybody's here, because if they would have come in the first place saying, you need all this here, yes or no, instead of every time something else. So, if you want to meet, again, let me know.
Thank you.
Not for the kids, not for us.
May I, George, hold on a minute. Is there anybody who is standing there? No, I'm not talking to you. Anyone who was standing there before Mr. Nestori got up? Okay, George. He's going to be a long time. Yes, sir.
Hi, Mayor. Moni Sangwe, 11 Davenport, Elmwood Park. I've been in a number of meetings. Last meeting, 3 meetings ago, I was told only thing EP United was missing, or 4 meetings ago, whatever. Sorry, 4 seasons ago. Only thing they were missing is and this was told to me on my face, only thing they were missing is the certificate that is a non-profit organization, and the next season, if they had the certificate, they would get the
Who told you that?
I don't even know. One of the councilmen who's no longer here because we put in the effort for them to be gone. We don't want to do that again. And Councilman, you saying that why can't you play for rec? I think it's unfair because this team was formed 2 seasons before the rec was formed.
1 season, I believe. It was 1 season
One
before.
season, maybe.
Yeah.
But it was formed prior, so people should not have to pay taxes, leave their team, which they've been playing for a number of years, just so that we can get benefit of our taxes. And obviously, I think it's very unfair if the team that is getting the #1 priority has 40% out of, say, out of town residents getting priority, where the town kids are playing on Selbrook Park field.
Thank you.
Very disappointed me.
Versa Campo, 5 Fifth Avenue.
May I just interrupt you a minute? I've just been informed that we have 1 tape left with 25 minutes on it. After that, you will not be on TV.
I will take 2 minutes.
I will not close the meeting.
Simple as this. As important as is the tank for most of you, it's also important for my kids to get the use of the fields in Elmwood Park. I'm a resident of Elmwood Park.
I've been with the Elmwood Park EP United for 4 years. It is a shame for me that I had to look for other parks, for other fields, for my child to go to practice. The field is so big, the day is long. Why we cannot fit both of us there? Can anybody take ownership of this? Mr. Mayor, City Council, can anybody take ownership of this situation? Because I'm really tired of hearing like recreation meetings, board meetings, council meetings, the same thing, back and forth, back and forth. Can anybody take a
Mr.
ownership
Pedicano.
and give us a deadline, give us a date? When is this going to be solved? Because it's 4 years already. All I ask is that. And I'm finished.
Real quick, I'll just explain something. Our rec program had to go to Morris County, so
I'm sorry to interrupt you, sir, but like I said, I'm tired of hearing all this stuff. All I need is someone to please take ownership of this situation and solve for our kids that live in Elmwood Park. And we pay taxes in this city. That's all I need. I don't need explanations.
Thank
I
you.
need something that is solved. Thank you.
Come on, George.
George, you're up. George, what I'm going to do, since we have only 25 minutes left and we have 5 people standing in line, I'm going to allow you 5 minutes for each person, and then when the tape runs out, you can all speak again.
All right, real quick.
That's an oxymoron, real quick. Okay.
On the Veneno case, how much is that costing the borough?
On the what case?
John Veneno.
Mr. Kazmark, you have a number on that?
Well, we have been represented.
George Nestori, 2 Sabo Court.
Thank you. We had been represented by the borough attorney, and it was covered under his flat fee up until last year. The council appropriated a small amount of money, a few $1,000s for him to conduct the appeal before the appellate division, and then tonight they committed a not-to-exceed amount of $5,000 at a rate of $125 an hour to make an appeal to the Supreme Court. So it's all contained within the, for the most part, it's all contained within the legal fees that we pay for the flat fee for the borough attorney.
All right, so the appeal was lost by the town.
The appeal of the appellate division was lost. It was sustained by the Superior Court initially.
What is the total package cost for the town?
We don't know yet.
We don't know that number at this
It's
point.
got to be a few $100,000, right?
We don't know that yet.
All right, who was the attorney that gave you the advice, gave our council the advice on when this episode happened with Veneno, whatever happened?
Mr. Giblin was the borough attorney at the time.
He was the attorney, and he's the attorney that's defending it, right?
Correct.
So it's a very costly error by Mr. Giblin, who gave us the wrong advice. He gave the mayor and council the wrong advice at the time. We should advise you to do it correctly.
Wait a minute. The attorney wants to speak.
This is litigation, and you're going to start discussing strategy. I don't recommend you discuss. I mean, he could ask whatever he wants. I recommend no one.
Okay. Mr. Nestori, our attorney, Mr. Randazzo, indicates that we shouldn't respond to this because it's still ongoing.
Oh, okay. All right. I just wanted to bring it up. Now, I was in Paramus quite often, and they have some brooks in Paramus. And their brooks have these stones that are meshed with metal. And it keeps the brook from falling in, the dirt from falling in and blocking the water from flowing freely. Why couldn't we have that done here? You know?
We've done that here in various areas. And have you been down to Kip Avenue?
No, not recently.
Go down there and see what the great job they're doing down there, George.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's a long time coming. Thank God it's being done.
Oh, George, long time coming. Come on. We changed 8 culverts, George. 8 culverts we put in. We're doing all that. Long time coming. We haven't had a major flood where you had cars underwater on Martha and Kip Avenue.
Oh, no, I know that.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, one of the main reasons for that is the 9-foot gravity-fed on Laz Avenue down to the river, below the dam. That's the reason why that's done.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that's where the water table dropped drastically, but if you don't police the brook, it's going to be a problem. So
I just mentioned, George, that we got a grant for de-snagging with Garfield. Okay, but you're on, how much time?
It's 5.
It's 5.
Your 5 minutes is up, George. Let's go to the next person, and you can come back.
Okay.
Thank you. Next.
Oh, that's not fair.
Good evening, I'll make this quick. My name is Kathleen Backer. I reside at 257 Lincoln Avenue here in Emerald Park. I want to thank the mayor and council for making the decision to keep the tank here in Emerald Park where it should be.
Thank you.
come from a military family. I have a father and my uncle, which Mr. Mulligan had mentioned his name, Mr. Buttel. That was my uncle who resided here in Emerald Park. I also have a son who's been 14 years in the Army Reserve. He's served 2 deployments overseas. And I asked him this evening before he went to work, before I came here, I said, Greg, what is your opinion on that tank? What do you feel about it as a veteran? He looked at me, he says, Mom, yes, it's true. It does remind you of the war. But in other words, he said, Mom, when I look at that tank, it reminds me of all the fallen military servicemen that went before us in different war times, and that needs to be kept here. We have nothing else in the town here that represents veterans, and we need to keep the tank here, and I thank you that you made that decision.
I agree with you 100%. Thank you. Next.
Steve Backer, 257 Lincoln Avenue, Elmwood Park. My question is, what is the ordinance for use of garbage cans in town?
For what?
The use of garbage cans. When people put garbage out, I walk around Sunday nights, Wednesday nights on my area, and it's all loose bags all over the place. Some are split open. Why can't they enforce garbage cans?
They put garbage out in plastic bags. They can put them out in containers, and they're not supposed to put them out until the night before.
Yeah, but why can't they enforce using garbage cans?
Why can't we enforce it? I think we have to bring that up at another council meeting, tell everybody to buy a garbage can and not put not plastic bags.
Because I walk around with the dog and everything, and bags are split open. Yeah, sure.
Well, some animals do that. There's no question about it. But if the council wants to review that ordinance, whether it has to be in a container or not.
Yeah, I hope they will.
Okay.
It's a good
And
idea.
I would like to also thank the council for keeping that tank in town.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How much time do we have?
I'm quick.
Okay.
Douglas DeMatteo, 262 Lincoln Ave.
Doug, in the
Doug,
mic.
into the mic.
For the TV.
Douglas DeMatteo, 262 Lincoln Ave. I'm here as, I guess, a representative of Project Graduation for this coming year. We're trying to get some information on how we can do a coin toss, because obviously our graduation for the children is going to be expensive, so we're trying to help us out in any way that we can. And one of the topics came up a few weeks ago at our meeting is to do a coin toss. And usually it's at Market and Boulevard, so we're trying to figure out how we can go around getting permission for a Sunday or two. Give you a couple dates in November.
Speak to our clerk and he'll present it to us as a council.
I'm sorry?
Speak to our clerk and he'll present it to us in the council.
All right, you're looking for the people that's going to attend it, or just a date or two?
Give me a call Monday morning, Doug. I'll be in Trenton tomorrow, but give me a call Monday and we will, I'll give you all the details.
Okay.
There's also some recent information that was supplied to the police department, some criteria that needs to be met too. So we can go over that if you call me next week.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Anyone else who wishes to be heard? If not, I'm going to close the public portion of the meeting, but I forgot something that was very important, and I should have told you. I was asked earlier, questioned by Mr. Caramagna, what have I done for Elmwood Park when I was a freeholder? We're discussing the artesian fields that belonged to Garfield. When I was a freeholder, I was instrumental in getting the county to buy that. I've been trying to get somebody to buy that property since I was elected mayor, Garfield would not sell it to us. I finally persuaded the freeholders to purchase that property. So, Mr. Catamani, all the discussion we have tonight about the artesian fields, if it wasn't for me, it still belonged to Garfield. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Martino, second by Mr.
Wow, that was an up and down.
All in favor?
Aye. 10:32 PM.
Oh, boy.
George, give me a call.